Sorry about that, guys. I was role-playing a dragon, specifically the dragon Vagar from House of the Dragon. So, let me tell you this. I was watching the season finale, and I was pissing and squirming and in need of a serious psyche eval after watching that episode. And let me tell you, some of you guys, you may be Game of Thrones fans, right? You guys remember season 8. Because, listen, I didn't mean to bring it up, okay? Please don't hurt me. Just calm down. Put your keyboards down for a second. This season finale was not season 8 of Game of Thrones. And we can be happy about that. And I honestly am happy about it. But, as it comes with, like, multiple shows, sometimes there's things that you can't avoid. And, you know, we have to talk about the negatives, but we can always start off with talking with the positives. And honestly, this season finale had a lot of positives. And when we get to the negatives, you'll see, like, it's not as bad as I'm making it out to be right now. And that's okay. All right? It's fine. We're fine. This show is fine. Now, in the season finale, so this is going to include spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, get the frick out of this video right now. Why did you even click on it? I put spoilers in the title. Stop. Okay. So this season finale started off with Rhaenyra. We finally got to see her. And Rhaenys was like telling her about how Aegon was just crowned the king in front of all the masses. And you know, I was like, "Oh my god. They're coming to throw fists. Rhaenyra is going to freaking punch Aegon right in the square jaw that he has." He doesn't have a square jaw. He looks a little fugly, and that's fine. I like that about Aegon. Honestly, no, you know what? He sucks. I take it back. He's a terrible character. He literally like essayed someone, and we don't like that. Bad Aegon. So going back to Rhaenyra's reaction when Rhaenys told her that Aegon was gonna be the king, or he is the king because he just got set as one after her dad died, who was the previous king, Viserys. So we liked Viserys. God bless his heart. He got knocked out by some disease, and that was really sad. So Rhaenyra had responded in a way that honestly I didn't expect, but good for her. Honestly, it was Daemon who didn't take it well. Now Daemon, he in my opinion is like a top tier character, but he's also like a dick, like an absolute fucking moron of an asshole character, but I love him for it, even though he's terrible. But in my opinion, top tier. But so that's how the episode started off. And like when you get this sense of like, yo, they're about to start throwing hands. Like this feels like a season finale. It's finally coming up. What's gonna happen with Alicent and Rhaenyra, and how is their relationship gonna be affected by this? And is Rhaenyra gonna burn everything down? The answer is no. She didn't burn anything down. And honestly, I really respected that. I really liked that. She was holding restraint, and she told Daemon, we can't fight. We cannot fight. And then Daemon, in my opinion, this is one of the negatives. He kind of like, he did something out of the ordinary. He started like to choke Rhaenyra, his wife, and the queen. And he was like, you should know you have to fight the wars because they're taking your throne, man. Come on, you gotta fight. And Rhaenyra was like, boy, chill your ass down. We're gonna talk about this like normal humans, and we're gonna keep the peace. And I love that. That was all handy dandy. And honestly, there was the scene that came up later where Rhaenyra was getting her crown, and it was from some random guy, like some knight. He was like, yo, Rhaenyra, I am gonna serve you because you are the rightful queen. Here's a crown. Listen, don't ask me where I got it. If you ask me again, I'm gonna have to say I can't serve you, but listen, you have the crown now, and that's what matters. I was like, okay. But then Rhaenyra looked fucking bad the fuck ass wearing that shit. I was like, fucking let's go. So there was another part too that was actually really cool in my opinion. It was like, so Rhaenyra was single-handedly giving birth to a child, and when I say single-handedly, that's not a turn of phrase. She literally was like standing up. She was reaching down and like pushing the nastiest, most disgusting little freak creature of a baby out of her. And with one hand, she kind of just like, let me go ahead and like try and describe. Like her hand on the head was like, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of badass, in all intents and purposes. Like the handmaidens were like, "Yo, let me help you, please, let us help you." She was like, "No, get away, I'm gonna do it myself." And so, the baby was like, it was dead. Like I don't need to say it. Like it was gone. But oh my god, I was eating while this scene was happening, and I think I wanted to. Honestly, I was having the time of my life. I took a drink of the pop. I let it burp out. Oh my god, it was awesome. But that baby had some scales on it and stuff. It was deformed. It looked like a little alien. And it's either that like that thing wasn't like formed enough, or you know, it was just what it was. You know, it was probably supposed to be like a dragon or something, but yeah. And so I personally, I thought that part was like pretty badass myself. Just mostly because like it shows the strength of Rhaenyra, even though like, you know, without like medicine and stuff, she'll just go right through it. Because usually they give like the milk of the poppy to pregnant women so that they can endure a little more. But she was like, stay away, I'm doing this myself. And it really sucked because Jacaerys later that day also kind of lost his life, so she lost 2 children in a way, which, you know, as a mom, I'm not a mom myself, so I wouldn't quite know, but I can imagine like that's not a really nice thing to have happen to you on the same day too, which is like so yeah, so there were some positives. Like we got to see how Rhaenyra, as like a queen, she holds restraint, and she's surrounded by like a whole bunch of like men who just want to cause wars at the whim of their like their temper, because they're like, I see someone is like mocking me, I need to fight them immediately. Okay, so another positive that we got to see were the dragons. The dragons in House of the Dragon. You know, you hear dragons in the title, you expect to see some dragon action. And let me tell you, the dragon action was flippin' crazy. We liked it. That shit, I was pretty like, you knew what was gonna happen. So in this scene at the end, it was like the very last scene. So Aemond, he's like this little punk character that like grew up and like he needs to prove himself. And honestly, he's kind of an A1 character too, in my opinion. But Aemond was on his dragon Vhagar, which is like the biggest dragon that like exists at the moment, and he was like flying through like rain clouds and there was thunderclaps going on, and the big dragon was like invisible, and you just saw Jacaerys. Jacaerys is Rhaenyra's son, so he was out to go to Storm End, I think it's called, and he was supposed to deliver a message, but turns out Aemond was there, and he was offering his hand to his daughters if the Lord of Stormend, I think it's Stormend, don't kill me if it's not, if he was going to offer his hand in being loyal to the new King Aegon. And so they got into an altercation, Aemond and Jacaerys, and so Jacaerys was like, yo, I'm not trying to fight here, my mom said nah, bro. And I was like, let's go, Jacaerys, that's the way to do it. But it turns out Aemond's kind of a dick, and he was flying Vhagar really close to Jacaerys' dragon. I think his name is Arax. And oh my lord, this man, Vhagar, I just said man, this dragon Vhagar, he was a tank compared to Arax. I hope that's his name. I would sound so stupid if that's not his name. And he just like, he took a big, he chomped on his ass. He ate him. He destroyed him. He was like an ant compared to a human's foot. And honestly, that was really cool. But honestly, like, while I did enjoy those parts, I'm not gonna lie, for me personally, House of the Dragon, that season finale felt like an episode that was supposed to be before a season finale. So like an episode 9 out of 10. Not the actual 10th episode, because like when you see the 10th episode, you're like, there's gonna be something to like just ooh. And I guess I'm kind of disappointed too. I know like book readers might have more like access to this information. I haven't read the books personally, but I'm a little intrigued to see like, hey, how are we gonna continue this for another 10 episodes? Like, I feel like they could have wrapped it up in another 2 episodes, at least for this season. I remember hearing that like the director wanted to make the seasons like different generations of Targaryens, but it looks like that's not going to be the case because we need to see how this all plays out. And like overall I liked it, but I'm not going to lie, I think that Rings of Power, the Amazon series for Lord of the Rings, that one had me way more hooked. But Rhaenyra is a badass. That's what I took out of this season. And honestly, she really proved himself, and I think she's like a perfect heir for Viserys, and I think he would be like especially proud of her. And I think that stands for a lot, especially in terms of like Rhaenyra's like how she feels about her dad and stuff. And yeah, honestly, like that's all I really had to say. Like House of the Dragon, good show. Season finale didn't fully do it for me. Like there were good things for sure, and it didn't feel like it ended itself good enough for me, at least personally. And so, you guys can disagree. It's perfectly fine. It's just my opinion. I wasn't happy with how it just kind of ended with Jacaerys dying, and that was about it. I will say though, the reaction that Aemon had to Jacaerys dying, he was like, yo, listen, I did not mean to do that, man. I know you're dead. I know you're in a million pieces right now. My bad, bro. I wasn't controlling he did it himself. It wasn't me. I swear to God. Another thing with Jacaerys' death, it was like, I don't really know you that much. Like, they didn't expand on his character enough for me, and I didn't really feel like the emotions I feel like I was supposed to feel when Jacaerys died. I mostly felt like, well, that's gonna start a war, because what else do you need, right? Rhaenyra is gonna take that shit to heart, and because it was Alicent's kid that like yoinked him, well, who knows? Actually, you know what? Maybe we'll see some restraint from Rhaenyra again, even though Jacaerys is dead, and honestly, it's something we can respect. But yeah, that's all I really had to say about House of the Dragon. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. And hey, like, feel free to discuss in the comment section if you want. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm perfectly okay with that. Honestly, I like hearing people's opinions. I was trying to read up on some like discussion about it after I watched the season finale, and there wasn't a lot. Honestly, it was mostly just like, yo, Jacaerys died, and I was kind of laughing at it, and I was like, oh shit. And it was because they also didn't like know Jacaerys as well as like I feel like they thought they should too, but just what it is. All right, guys, yeah, that's about it. Peace. I'm getting really good at these outros, by the way. Just hang in there with me, all right? Thanks.